Most Westerns are obsessed with the fastest gun in the West. They're about the legend while it's happening, the shiny spurs, the quick-draw showdowns, the myth-making. But Old Henry? It's a movie about the dirt. It's about what happens when the legend gets tired, grows a beard, and tries to disappear into a patch of unforgiving Oklahoma soil. For the first 40 minutes, director Patsy Panciaroli tricks you. He makes you think you're watching a slow-burn, stranger-comes-to-town thriller. A man finds an injured outlaw, takes him in, and waits for trouble to arrive. But there's a tension in Tim Blake Nelson's shoulders that tells a different story. This isn't a man afraid of the outlaws outside his door. This is a man afraid of the ghost living inside of him. Henry doesn't move like someone unsure of violence. He moves like someone who knows it too well. Every decision he makes feels cautious, calculated, and deeply personal, as if one wrong step might wake something he's spent years trying to keep buried. But Henry isn't looking for a comeback. He's a widower trying to raise a son who, frankly, thinks his father is a coward. Wyatt sees hesitation where Henry feels restraint, and that judgment cuts deeper than any bullet ever could. Wyatt wants stories. He wants heroes. He wants his father to be someone worth admiring. And Henry believes the only way to protect his son is to disappoint him. Nelson plays Henry with this hunched, defensive posture. He looks small. He looks like a man who has spent 20 years trying to shrink himself so God wouldn't notice him. The way he handles a gun in the beginning isn't cinematic, it's pragmatic. There's no swagger, no flourish, just muscle memory he wishes he didn't still have. The film understands that in the real West, money wasn't freedom, it was a death sentence. When Henry finds that cash, he doesn't see a windfall, he sees the end of his peace. The middle act of Old Henry is a psychological chess match. It's built on a foundation of lies. Ketchum is lying about who he is, the injured man, Curry, is lying about who he is, and Henry is lying to his son about the very nature of his soul. The action in Old Henry feels heavy. When the bullets fly, they don't feel like movie squibs, they feel like intrusions. The sound design here is brutal. Every shot is deafening, stripping away the romanticism of the gunfight and replacing it with the reality of a slaughter. The third act reveal that Old Henry is actually Billy the Kid should feel like a cheap gimmick. On paper, it's a fan theory brought to life. But in execution, it's heartbreaking. Because the twist isn't about surprise, it's about inevitability. By the time we see him handle a gun with that terrifying ambidextrous fluidity, we realize the tragedy. He didn't survive the Lincoln County War. He just outran the funeral. The film argues that a man like the Kid can never truly retire. The violence is baked into the bone. It's not something he does, it's something he is. He saved his son, yes, but in doing so, he destroyed the lie that kept his son safe. Old Henry is a micro-western that succeeds because it respects the genre's roots while digging up the bodies buried underneath. It strips the myth down and forces us to look at what's left. It asks a haunting question. Can you ever truly bury your past, or does the dirt eventually wash away in the rain? And if your past is violence, what does redemption even look like? Henry McCarty spent a lifetime trying to be a nobody. In the end, his greatness was his curse. It's a masterpiece of restraint, and quite possibly the best Western of the last decade. Was Henry right to hide his past from his son, or was the truth always going to come out in blood? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.